The real true A players that may already have a personal brand, they're not starting from scratch, which that beginner training was kind of people starting from scratch, building a credible authority. If you know what you're talking about, you're comfortable in front of the camera and you can put 9 to 12 posts up, then I suggest you go heavy on the outreach strategy, which I will get into right now.
This is the Full Stack Sales Pro.
All right, what is good, sales crew? Today, we're going into social media outreach tactics, and I'm super stoked to teach you on this because this is actually where my majority of my expertise comes from. So the other stuff is important if you're going to build a social media outreach campaign. Right, you need a powerful personal brand. You need to have some type of credible authority to show your audience who you are. Right? So if you're building content, let's just say in sales, if you're in sales, let's just say you're teaching about sales tactics, right? Just like how I am right now. You want to build that personal brand. So let's just say if it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, any one of those platforms, YouTube, right? You just need to be making content about who you are, right? You need people to trust you. And if in order to break that trust barrier, in order for them to get on a phone with you and feel comfortable with you, you need to put yourself out there. So getting in front of a camera can be slightly uncomfortable. I've done this probably, 50 times, so it's a little bit more comfortable for me. But it's one of those things that's just it's mega important to know what you're talking about, feel comfortable about what you're talking about, and really provide real raw value. Right? So a lot of people are just regurgitating a lot of stuff out there, but you want to be able to make sure you're providing actual value in what you're talking about. So starting with building a personal brand, I'm just going to kind of do a review of it so you understand, because it kind of ties into doing some outreach tactics. So if you're building a personal brand, you want to make sure you have a really good bio, right? So Instagram, you know that you have, actually, let me just go ahead and share my screen. It might be easier to reference what I'm talking about here. Here is Instagram, right? So we're just going to pull up my profile here, and we're going to check out my bio here. So this stuff, when I was doing this before, I was really active. I was doing, travel and adventures. So that's why I still have all this stuff up here on the top. You want to put your location just to make sure your location relevant, right? So put the little pin. You only have a certain amount of characters, so just put the 2 letters that you're in so people know where you are. And then put what you do, right? So I'm a content strategist at Levels of Wealth, and I also have a software company that I do some marketing for. So it's a social media CRM, says exactly what it is, right? So if you're teaching on sales, you might say, like for our sales mentor. So for this one here, high ticket sales coaching and academy. So think about it as like your tagline, who you are, what's your, 7 to 10 words, maybe, 10 max, of what you do, who you are, and how you serve the community, right? So we specifically offer high ticket sales coaching, and it's an academy that helps people with coaching and things like that. So that's kind of like what it is, right? It's a high ticket sales coaching and academy. In one line, that's exactly what we do. So try to spend some critical thinking, right? Really ruminate on what you do and who you are, because you want to fit yourself into a brand, right? So you think about how a company like Google or Apple, Apple has those commercials with the slow motion, graphics and everything, and it shows the phone and all the details and how sleek it is and how simple and easy to use it is, right? That's why people buy Apple. So they have a why behind what they do. When you're building a personal brand, you need to do that on social media as well, and obviously not just in your content, but also in your bio. So the second thing here is we help sales pros scale their income to 10K plus per month. So it's kind of an addition on top of the high ticket sales coaching and academy. We say specifically what we help people do. So there's the what and there's the why. So you can kind of answer the couple, the what, why, how, who, those types of questions you want to answer in your bio. And then you put a call to action, right? So book a free consultation with one of our sales coaches below. I might even put 15-minute in there, right? If I have enough characters, I might edit that and say book a free 15-minute consultation, because the more information you put, the more deal sizzler information you put, the more people are going to feel like they can trust you because you're giving them information, right? So they might think it's an hour-long consultation. Give them as much information as possible. Be as transparent as possible, right? Including in your content, say exactly what you do. you know, and not about the benefits of what you do, right? That's kind of the line, right? That's why it's kind of like a dichotomy. You need to give away value, but not have it seem sales pitchy, right? You want to actually give away raw value, because if you're trying to persuade someone, everyone's trying to persuade someone to do something, right? But if you actually just give the value and just give the raw, transparent value of what you do, and people will automatically trust you, right? You're not giving away all of your secrets. You're just telling them what you're good at, and then they will hire you. They will call you because they want to know more of that. You're their shortcut to that. So the more you put yourself out there, the better that is. So I didn't want to spend too much time on personal brand, but hopefully that makes sense. You want to make sure you're putting content out there, make lots of reels, you know, just to kind of touch on the content strategy of what we talked about last week from the personal brand. You really want to be making maybe like an hour of content. So this video is probably going to be about 10 minutes to, you know, maybe 30 minutes max. But you want to be able to make anywhere between 10 minutes to an hour long. I suggest an hour long because you could get more content out of that. So you have an hour-long piece of content that you can throw on YouTube, and then you can cut that content down into micro content that you can post on YouTube Shorts, right? Because they take that 60-second vertical clips. That same 60-second vertical clip can be posted to Instagram and TikTok, so you're getting cross-platform, right, for the same amount of work. A lot of people think they need to make unique content for different platforms, but you really don't. Viral is a language. So if you make something viral once on one platform, it'll go viral on other platforms as well. So little secret for you all, but so just take that for what it is. But yeah, make sure you're building a good content strategy, and it doesn't need to be anything fancy. I will touch on one more thing for the content strategy for y'all. Let's see, it was pain-free. So this brand we've had up for, 5 years or so. This is one of my past clients who sold pain products for horses, essentially. And so they had this one specifically that they wanted us to run a campaign for. It was Nuprofen, and all we did was make 9 posts and explain what the product did. Right? We made graphics for it and put a description of what each one is, the before and after. So it's kind of like a website. It kind of explained everything about what the product was in just those 9 posts. So you can do the same for your personal brand. It doesn't have to be just a brand. You can literally put up 9 posts in general if you don't want to make content consistently, because I know it takes a lot of time. If you're going to be hitting the DMs and doing a lot of social media outreach, which takes a lot of time as well, then to do right? Because you need to follow up with people. You need to push these conversations through. They have a call with you, and then you follow up with them after the call. So there's different ways to kind of move them through the pipeline to make sure they don't get stuck. But so if you want to go that route, then just make sure you have a simple content strategy, right? 9 to 12 posts total. It says exactly what you do. You give away some value, and you're pushing to a call to action. So think about your Instagram almost like a website. It's a visual version of your website. It's a grid of photos to visually explain what you do, give away the value, right? Nobody likes reading things anymore. So don't try to be one of those content creators that's too much overdone, right? Don't be a copywriter. Don't write big long posts. People have an attention span of 7 seconds, right? So don't spend so much time on content and write these really long posts. All you really need is 9 to 12 posts to establish yourself as a credible authority. So wanted to make sure I gave you guys that before we move on to one last thing I want to touch on here. The reason I say this with content, right, is because I've done the whole content journey. It was great for inbound traffic. If you rank for hashtags, you get on the Explore page, there's different ways you can algorithm hack and really rank for that Explore page and get a lot of inbound traffic. But there's over 100 million posts a day on Instagram, and so it's really hard to rank and compete with that much content. So really, the best strategy here is outbound. That's why I saved this for the last. This is for the real true A players that may already have a personal brand. They're not starting from scratch, which that beginner training was kind of people starting from scratch and building a credible authority. If you know what you're talking about, you're comfortable in front of the camera, and you can put 9 to 12 posts up, then I suggest you go heavy on the outreach strategy, which I will get into right now. So if you're looking for somebody, I'm just going to use Jeremy Miner. He's a industry legend in the sales space. And so for us specifically, if we're going to be reaching out to, if we're salespeople And our ideal customer persona is someone looking to get into sales, right? So I'm speaking specifically for our industry, right? So we're looking for people who might already be in sales, they're car salesmen, they may make, $5,000 a month, and they're looking to get to 10 grand a month plus, right? That's only done with high ticket sales. A lot of people don't even realize that high ticket sales online are even a thing. And so where are some places that we kind of look for to find people who might have some sales experience or zero experience? So you don't really need experience. So I'm going to try to find a couple of different people. Sales coaches who have a lot of experience. B, sales people, sales reps who may have 1 to 2 years of experience and might be making $5,000 a month and want to break through and haven't heard of high ticket coaching. And then C is the people who don't have any sales experience, but they're in the entrepreneurship space, they're in the mindset space, they're high achievers who are looking for more, they're hungry, right? And so those are the three groups of people that I'm going to kind of look for here. But obviously copy and paste this for your own industry and find, 3 different groups of personas that you want to make your dream 100 list out of, right? So we have Jeremy Miner here. He's in sales, right? Eli Wild is another person, Eli Wild Sales. So this is someone who probably has a lot of high ticket people. He has everyone across the board, right? 100,000 people. He's just a sales mogul. So this is a good place to start to get all 3, right? And you can kind of start to qualify people as you're looking through some of his accounts. So the way that you find people is, there's a couple different ways I do this. One, you go to following and look at people he's following. So usually there'll be other sales leaders, right? Fitness business coach, biz consultant. These are pretty high level people. Kobe Bryant, right? So you're gonna get some high level people in here. So sometimes the following doesn't always work. Following usually works if somebody has 10,000 followers or less. And they're following other people who have 10,000 followers or less. Those are people, maybe they do Instagram influencing for a little bit, right? And they make a little bit of money doing Instagram influencing. They have 10,000 followers, so they might get a couple of brand deals here and there, but they also might be looking for something different. So you could also reach out to those people as well. Those are really high quality leads. So always look at the following list. That's a great one. He doesn't follow any hashtags, so we're not going to check out any hashtags here. But we can find similar accounts down here. So these are a little bit different than accounts he follows, right? So these are similar accounts. Great. The suggested one has 4,000 followers. He's the CEO of Agency Lab. Now he's probably doing pretty well himself. So he's probably not a great lead. He's probably not wanting to get out of what he's doing, right? If he has a successful business. But you can also look at people that are following him. And even better yet, look at people who are engaging with his posts. So he has 70 people who likes his post. A lot of these people are international. Look at people who have a good profile picture, right? So as you're kind of skimming through, you can hover over. Okay, so this guy's in the gym. He's probably pretty good. Yeah, let's start with that, gym rest. So he has a gym brand, right? So he's an online coach and fitness model. But online coaches also need to learn high ticket sales, right? So this isn't like a full-time thing that we're really helping people get into, sales careers, right? Sales careers can be a part-time thing. That's kind of the point of it. So, and maybe he's just wanting education, right? Sales education to better sell his own fitness stuff. So he would be a great lead, right? So we'd add him to the list. You can either bookmark a tab or create a G sheet. Or there's plenty of other softwares like socialcycle.io is a great software. It's actually my software that helps people do outreach. So a shameless plug, but that'll help you to create a cadence of engagement and keep all these people in what's called an SRM, a social relationship manager, similar to HubSpot or Pipedrive. If you've ever seen those, those are called CRMs, which are usually used for email. SRMs are used for social media contact management. So, if you don't want to use a spreadsheet, if you don't want to bookmark a couple of tabs, if you don't want to, write it down in your notebook, then, I suggest you get a software to help you out with that. But if you don't want to use the software, a paid option, then you can definitely just use a spreadsheet, put them all in there, highlight rows when they go from cold to warm to hot, right? There's multiple different ways you can run a good outreach campaign. For this one, online coach fitness model, you add them to the list, right? And you can just keep going down the rabbit hole. So who does he follow? It looks like he uses a follow on follow method because he follows 2,100 people and has 4,800 followers, which is usually pretty good because if he uses the follow and follow method, it means that he is following similar accounts who might be looking for the same thing. So, I mean, all of these people are good. This person has a fundraiser, they live their life, probably into fitness, right? If somebody's into fitness, they're usually a high achiever. I love people who are into fitness because they have a lot of energy and zest about life. Lifestyle transformation coach, this person would be good, right? He's looking, anybody who's an online coach is pretty good for our stuff, right? Because coaches really love to grow their businesses and they're really motivated. They may make, 5K a month in the coaching business. They may have been doing it for a little bit. So you just kind of got to get in your head and the psyche of the people that you're looking to reach out to. Because if you're a salesperson, you're looking to solve a problem that they have. And so, a lot of coaches, especially on Instagram, as an Instagram influencer myself, it's very rare. You're always putting your best face forward, right? So it's very rare, unless you have 100,000 followers plus, it's very rare that you're actually making a good living doing it on. I can share with you numbers of what companies pay based on engagement of posts and everything, but Instagram influencing by itself is not a good career. So if somebody has a lot of followers, don't just assume that they're a disqualified lead. That probably means that they're more qualified and looking for something different, because Instagram content creation is a hamster wheel that never ends. And the return to value is not a ton. So just keep that in mind when you're reaching out to people on Instagram. And this goes for all platforms. There's not influencers on LinkedIn or Facebook, but those are the other two platforms. Twitter is a really good platform. Obviously, you can't really do outreach on YouTube. So I'd suggest going with Instagram first, then LinkedIn. I'll go to this in a second, but you just get on a passion soapbox. Make sure your engagement is genuine, right? When you're reaching out to these people, you don't want to just do a connect and pitch, or if you're commenting on a post, you don't want to just say nice post, right? When you're outreaching to these people, and you don't just want to send them a DM and say, hey, what's up? You want to make sure you follow them first. Engage on a couple of posts, like on day 1. Comment on day 3. Like I said, Social Cycle can help you out with this because it's going to be a constant reminder of the days to engage with them, right? It'll just say like on day 1. On day 3, after you throw them in the sequence, you'll comment on their post, and then you'll just leave a genuine comment. I don't believe in templates, right? So you can just, if it's about this post here, let's go into the training now, right? So if it's about, let's not do like a pinned post, right? It needs to be something recent. So how to fit exercise when you're too busy. So you get the idea. We won't play this one, but obviously you'd actually want to watch this if you're going to comment on it, but I'm just going to leave a comment here. Also, if you're going to be busy at certain points. I completely agree. I cannot type today. I completely agree. Priority over balance is key to a healthy business strategy. I always forget I'm going to be posting these as podcasts. So want to make sure that we're giving the audio audience a chance to understand what's going on here. But if you're listening to the podcast, come on and join our Facebook group. Link down in the description below, because you will want to join our Facebook group for trainings like this and other secret trainings that we also don't post to the podcast. So make sure you join the group. We will also be having the webinar just for our Facebook group and our email list. So if you're not in one of those and you're just listening to this podcast, then make sure you get on our email list, make sure you hop in the Facebook group, and you know exactly what's going on, because this training is going to be absolutely fire. Okay, so we have, I completely agree. Priority over balance is a key to a healthy business strategy. Boom, sent. Nope, business strategy. Enter does not post here. It tagged somebody for some reason. Okay, so you see that my comment is, okay, this person is obviously hitting like the DMs hard. He's doing a good outreach strategy. So usually you'll see a couple people that leave like a couple of emojis, or how do I get wham? I don't know what wham is. Maybe I should. we have that second point, intensity is key. See, so these people are doing good, right? These people are just like here for this brother, like great tips, like those are really, just bland vanilla comments, right? It's like everybody just looks past those. But not only is this valuable to the person that's posting the post, but I'm using their example because their example is better than mine, right? You want to make sure that it's not just for the person that's posting the post, it's also for other people that are reading the post as well, other commenters, other people in the industry, right? So you're kind of giving them a chance to, this is like your billboard, right? Just like you have a billboard when cars are driving by on the freeway, this is your chance to be a billboard. It's there forever, right? And if this post hits the explore page, because this person's obviously into content, literally, you don't have to have a content strategy. You could just comment on a bunch of people who have a great content strategy and wait till their post hits the explore page and that many more eyeballs see just your comment. And then they go to your page and see 12 posts and they're like, oh shoot, this person gave me way more value in 12 posts than this person gives me because I'm not going to scroll down and check out all of their posts, right? If you have 12 posts, you're more likely to watch every 12 of those posts. Because it's more interesting, right? You need to do different things than everybody else is doing. So that is the outreach strategy for that. So in order to find more people, just use that drop down arrow. Look in their following. Look for people who comment and like. So the pin posts are a great post for that. If somebody has pin posts, then make sure you're looking on their likes and followers because that's where they have like the most amount of people. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously deep in the fitness niche. You can see there's a ton of people that you can just start to reach out to here. And also the people who comment long comments. So that looks like a automated comment, but the people who comment longer comments usually are more engaged, or not usually, they are more engaged, right? So definitely reach out to the people who comment longer comments because we all stick together. So if you're commenting on other people's posts and you're doing the outreach strategy, when you reach out to other people who are also doing an outreach strategy, it's kind of a match made in heaven. It's not like a pitch fest where you guys are pitching each other. That's the way it used to be, right? Now it's kind of more like a genuine personalized engagement. Like, hey, I'm literally just connecting with you because I saw that you're in sales or I saw that you're in fitness. How long have you been doing fitness for? These are things that you can start to really implement into your outreach strategy, right? You pretty much after liking on day one, right? You follow them on day one, like on day two, comment on post on day 3, comment on post on day 7, right? And then maybe on day 8 or after the comment on day 7, you DM them. Right. So after you DM them, it's like, you don't need to pitch them and say, hey, I saw that we like similar content. Do you have a chance to get on the phone for 15 minutes to talk? Or, hey, I do this, right? You need to be more interested than interesting, right? I'm trying to get better at brevity. So try to get better yourself at being more interested than trying to be interesting, right? So just be interested in what they do. They'll spill it out. Like, how did you get involved in this industry? How long have you been doing this for? What do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? Maybe don't get into things like, how much money do you make? I think that's probably saved for a call, right? But you kind of feel the flow, right? It's hard to think about. I don't have any written down, but you just do this from experience, right? So you have a couple of questions in your head that you ask pretty much all the time to people to just get to know them, right? Another great one is maybe not as business relevant, but form, family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. Those are great things just to get to know people, right? Just to have as like conversation topics in your head. So you can also use form within the DMs as well. What does your family do? And do you spend a lot of time with them? You're literally just getting to know them as a person and you're building rapport with them, right? You're just uncovering things that they like and they dislike. And then if it makes sense after a couple of DMs, like after 10 to 20 DMs, right? After a full conversation, then maybe it makes sense to get on a call with them, right? So after they've given you a couple of limiting beliefs that they've had, you kind of grab these things as like almost tools, right? They're nuggets along the way that you can use. And I hate to use the word ammo, right? But I think for lack of better terms, it's ammo that you can use later. They're literally giving you their own objection handling stuff, right? When they're telling you what they're struggling with. So your sales is literally just to help them solve those problems that they're having. Even the likes, right? So if they like something, but they're not getting enough of it, can you help them get more of the thing that they like? Then just let them know that. You're there to help them. If you don't believe in the solution that you're selling, then don't be selling it, right? But if you actually believe that you can help them with that problem, and it doesn't have to be just getting them out of the career, right? I'm just speaking for our own, for sales, helping people get into sales and high ticket sales and break through their glass barriers and make 10K plus per month. Yours might be, staffing trucking drivers, or selling an e-commerce product, or selling software. There's multiple different use cases, right? It could be something food related, or all that stuff, right? So that is how you do your social media outreach strategy. Make sure you build your list of Dream 100, look through similar accounts, and I showed you how to do that here. You go through the followers, you go through the following, you go through the drop down of similar posts or similar accounts, right? So just go through those. There's an endless amount here. And you just keep going down the rabbit hole. You can build your Dream 100 real quick doing this. And fitness is actually, I started off easy because fitness is a really easy industry to get into. Fitness is huge on Instagram. You'll kind of, I'll just tell you them right now. You'll get used to which industries are good on Instagram if you do it a lot. But fitness is really, really good. Travel is really, really good. Food is really popular. Entrepreneurship, mindset, all of that stuff is really popular on Instagram. Cars accounts are popular on Instagram. Anything visual is really, really popular on Instagram, obviously, because Instagram is dominantly the visual platform. Twitter is really good for real estate, crypto, Web3, anything, stocks, finance. They have this thing called like Money Twitter, like this group of people on Twitter making like a ton of money, like 100K plus per month on e-commerce only. So there's a lot of like e-commerce on there, pretty much anything online, and real estate, right? Just to show you how this works, right? Just to give you even a case study, one of my business partner in the software company, he knew somebody on Twitter, and he's known him for like 2 years on Twitter, right? And this guy literally, he was, and just from DMs, right? They just knew each other from engaging in each other's posts, right? Because they liked similar stuff. They were in the same industry of sales and cold email. And so he ended up, after 2 years, saying, hey, do you want to get into a real estate deal together? And the guy says, sure. And without any contracts, this probably isn't good business, right? But just to show you how much trust is built on Twitter, without any contracts, without anything being signed, and without ever meeting in person, right? Barely Zoom calls, right? They've literally just DM'd on Twitter together. The guy that he met on Twitter, the guy that my business partner met on Twitter, wired him $60,000 for a real estate deal, 60 grand. This guy obviously has a lot of money, but 60 grand isn't a small chunk of change. He just trusted him through his connection on Twitter. So if you're not utilizing social media as a place to meet people, I would definitely get on top of that. I don't get why people do. There's a lot of advertising going around, which isn't a bad thing. Advertising is still good, right? But it's oversaturated. You got to do things that nobody else is doing. You got to think differently, right? That's how you get results. I mean, just to put it bluntly with you guys, like, I'm sorry, but if you're just kind of doing what everybody else is doing, then you're not going to get, high lead quality and things like that. So ensure that you are doing different things. You need to be doing social media outreach, build a personal brand, get in front of a camera. It's not that hard. And I'm sorry I'm so passionate about this. I just care about it. It's like, why are more people not doing outreach and seeing this opportunity the same way that I see it? Because there's lots of high quality leads, and I see the success stories of people that wire $60,000 and people who have $100,000 deals, for software just through Twitter and LinkedIn. So that's good for Twitter, right? Twitter's really good for all the online stuff, money, Twitter, you know, real estate, online businesses, Web3, crypto, finance. Yeah, I'm not too involved in any other networks besides those. So there's probably way more that I'm not thinking of. Like news sources are really big on Twitter. So anything that's happening like right now, you can engage on that stuff, right? So, you know, Twitter's really good for like, you know, current events and things like that. You can find people engaging with that current event and then you can like literally solve the problem for them. That's a really good way other than like finding hashtags and things like that. That's why I like Twitter. It's a really good platform for that. And nobody's doing outreach much on it. So people are doing outreach a ton. Like auto DMs are huge on Instagram and LinkedIn, but auto DMs and comments aren't too big. I know Elon's talking a lot about bots being on Twitter, but they're not too big on Twitter. And then the last one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is huge. A lot of people are doing like connecting pitches because there's a lot of LinkedIn automation softwares and it's really bad for your account. Do not use automation softwares. That's why I built my software. It's not automation at all. It just reminds you of when to engage. It puts people through a sequence and then you manually engage. And not only will that help your account health overall, right? It won't get your account shut down, but it also make people feel like you're personalizing the sale towards them, right? Sales should be personalized. It shouldn't just be how many people can I reach out to and fill in my pipeline. If I talk to enough, then I get the sale, right? Then it just becomes a script, right? Sales scripts are a thing, yes, but you want to use a script as a guide, right? Not as like exactly the things that you say and just pushing people through the pipeline, just getting through the numbers, right? Law of averages, right? All of that stuff. It's all frou-frou. You want to actually make sure you're personalizing the sales process. So don't use automation tools. Just again, a shameless promo there, but make sure that you're genuinely engaging, right? So when you're leaving the comments, make sure you like on day one, comment the genuine stuff, then direct message, and as you're moving them through, highlight the rows. This person's warm because they scheduled a call, and now this person's hot because they've been set with an account executive, and that person would be out of your pipeline now, right? They're into a new pipeline. So however you want to manage your sheets, that's how you do that. But when it comes to LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a great place for B2B, business to business. And pull this back up here. So LinkedIn is B2B. So, it's going to be high level executives, enterprise, team leaders, it could be sales professionals, anybody in the professional network. You see the advertisements on TV for LinkedIn. There was a couple even on the Super Bowl. It's all geared towards professionals. So you know that LinkedIn is the professional network. If you have some high quality stuff, you need to get on LinkedIn and do some high quality outreach. Ads are really expensive on LinkedIn. Outreach is free. They have InMail, right? LinkedIn InMail. So if you want to get to like the really high level executives, then you use InMail. But most of the people who are kind of in that in between, right? Instagram and Twitter is more of like the lower end people, even though they have like money Twitter with the people making 100K plus per month. You can find good people on Instagram and Twitter, but LinkedIn is really that professional network. And so again, everybody's used to the automation. So if you're literally following and connecting on day one and not sending a connection request, or even just following them on day one, right? No connection request at all. And then you like a couple of their photos, a couple of their posts, right? You comment on a couple of things. Maybe you endorse them for something if you've worked with them. Obviously you don't want to endorse anybody that you haven't had any experience with, but there's a lot of cool features on LinkedIn that you can start to utilize, right? After you've had about a week of engagement with them and they've gotten used to seeing you and understanding who you are, they may not have reached out to you yet, but they know who you are. They know you guys are in the same industry, right? So it's not going to be that huge of a surprise when you send a connection request with them and say, hey, I've been engaging with your posts a couple of times. I found you on hashtag this. I found you on this feed. I found us through a mutual friend, a mutual connection, this person, right? These are great openers. And then you pretty much just say, how long have you been in the industry? What do you do specifically in this industry? How did you get involved? Simple questions like that, or use form: family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. So those are great outreach tactics. Go and start on Instagram, Twitter, and go ahead and start on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And that's pretty much it.